Hi, everybody. It's Amy back at the Hub with Elaine. We're talking about grounding and boundary and the use of different props for giving people that sensation of grounding. And so we're going to keep talking a little bit more about that. So as you can see, Elaine has the sandbags on. And like I said in the last segment, you don't want to put the sandbags on and then just go on with class and leave them on for a long time. Give people the sensation of the sandbags going on and then the sandbags going off. And then maybe you'll put them on again for another pose and then take them off. Allow them to begin to start to integrate what the sensation is when the sandbags go on, but also what the sensation is when the sandbag comes off. And so Elaine's been here with the sandbags on for a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and take them off and then talk a little bit. You okay with that? Mm-hmm. Okay. I should ask her. All right, so I'm going to take that off. And notice that I remove them slowly, one at a time. And you could even remove the top one and let her integrate that and then remove the bottom one. But for timeliness, we just took them both off. So Elaine, what happens when I take the sandbags off?
I can still feel them, but also, my natural tendency is I'm really good at this. And somehow or other, having that downward pressure keeps them together more. It's almost as if they were on outside of my thighs.
Oh, interesting. So the sensation of the sandbags, that the alignment that gives you, that sense of boundary, if you will, stays with you even after we take the sandbags off.
Yes.
And is that a good thing?
Yes, that's a good thing.
And why is that a good thing?
It's a reminder of where I am in space and also where the whole thigh is.
Okay.
The whole leg.
I love that. So anybody who's come to study with us knows that one of the principles we teach at Mind Body Solutions is that alignment acts as an effortless form of mind-body integration. And this really illustrates that when we bring Elaine into alignment, because her natural tendency is for the legs to be lower in tone, and so for the legs to drop out to the side. And I almost sometimes think about that as like your energy spilling out the sides. And whether or not that's how you think of it, I don't know. But it's interesting to think about gathering that and giving it some boundary. And then what happens in the body when you provide somebody with that sensation of boundary, that sensation of a little bit of a container effect. It's also what we do when we teach people to sit with belts. So I love the fact that when we take the sandbags off, Elaine still feels that sensation of alignment and that sensation of integration. Elaine is comfortable sharing this with me on camera. And when Elaine first came to class a few years back, one of my observations was that you were really flexible, and part of that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
There is something. Tell me a little bit about that.
I've always been very, very flexible.
Okay.
And I think, she's going to be proud of me. Look at me do the lotus. I've got no problems.
And instead,
she wants my knees together. Dang.
Well, it's not that I want your knees together, but what I wanted was your knees supported. Because again, there was a sensation in me, which may not have exactly been your sensation, but an observation of that almost the energy almost looked like it was spilling over the banks, like water spilling over the banks. And what I wanted to do was to give you that a little bit of sense of boundary. It didn't mean that we didn't have you go into a Baddha Konasana position where your legs were like that, but we always put something underneath them, didn't we? So we would always put blocks under there, roll-up blankets under there, not so you couldn't experience that sensation of openness, because I still wanted you to experience that, but to experience it, to really experience it within the container of her body and not feeling like everything was just dropping off to the side. But it's interesting to listen to how you felt about it and how I felt about it, and knowing at the end of the day, you're in your body. Is it a good thing that we give you a little bit of boundary in those positions now?
Yes, comma darn it.
And why is that?
Well, I want to do it right, and I'm not. And there is a little bit about me, and not much, that's perfectionist. I do want to do it, and dang. I recently experienced the same thing in a swimming pool, trying to do a stroke that I have done for 50 years at least. And all of a sudden, my limbs were free-floating all over the place. And I thought, no, I know what I'm doing, and I couldn't grab them all in. They were just going akimbo.
That's the feeling of the water spilling over the banks.
Yeah.
It's like, where'd my arm go?
Yeah.
And so helping your body feel the sense of where it's at in space, I think in the long run serves your yoga practice, and also, you functioning outside of the yoga studio. But I think it's something to explore with your students. The sensation of boundary is very powerful, and that sensation of bringing somebody to the midline and helping them realize that effortless mind-body integration that comes with a sense of alignment, especially for our students. Now, Elaine, of course, is able to sit like that with her own volitional control, but many of our students can't, and maybe they'll have a leg that's dropping off to the side. It's very powerful when we bring them back into midline and help them feel that sense of symmetry, and then begin to see the ease that appears in the body. So it is one of our favorite ways to help people feel at home in their body, I guess. Yeah.
Good talking.
Good talking. Yeah. All right, everybody, that's it for now. Thanks for joining us at the Hub. More with Elaine in a little bit. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing, and don't forget to turn on your notifications.